Today we will discuss sport motion in vibration engineering. In sport motion, we first of all we have to discuss the topic absolute motion. The absolute motion in terms of the relative motion in the spring mass dashpot system in which there are two masses. The displacement in mass first, that is x, and in the second mass, that is the deflection is y. The relative motion with represent to earth or reference, then the net relative displacement, that is x minus y. Here spring force is kx and damping force cx dot, and x is equal to capital X sine omega t, and the displacement vector y is equal to a sine omega t. Let the relative displacement, we assume that that is z, which is equal to x minus y, and the velocity vector z dot is equal to x dot minus y dot. We know that from the equation of motion, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to 0. Here is equal to 0 because there is no force is applied. By putting the value of x dot, that is the relative displacement, is equal to x dot minus y dot, and z is equal to x minus y. By putting in this equation, we get mx double dot plus c x dot minus y dot plus k x minus y is equal to 0. If we open the bracket or multiply, then we get mx double dot plus cx dot minus cy dot plus kx minus ky is equal to 0. If we put the negative term in right side, then we get the equation mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to ky plus cy dot, where I have already told that the value of y is equal to capital A sine omega t, and the velocity vector of this displacement vector y dot is equal to a omega cos omega t. By putting the value of y and y dot in the above equation, then we get mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to ka sine omega t plus ca omega cos omega t. If we take the root value outside the term of sine and cos, that is equal to in root ka square plus c omega x square, then the equation can be written as mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to in root ka whole square plus c omega x whole square in root into by dividing this root value, then we get the ka upon in root ka whole square plus c omega x whole square in root sine omega t plus ca omega upon in root ka square plus c omega x whole square cos omega t. If we make a triangle of this equation or by putting this value, then we get the diagram that is shown in left below left side. From this triangle we know that cos phi is equal to ka y in root ka square plus c omega x square. By putting the value of cos phi instead of this, then we get the equation mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to a root k square plus c omega whole square into cos phi sin omega t plus sin phi cos omega t. This is the mathematical equation cos A sin B plus sin A cos B, that is equal to sin A plus B. Here A is equal to omega t and B is equal to phi. Then the equation will be mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to A root k square plus c omega square sin omega t plus phi. This equation, if we compare with the first vibration equation, that is equal to mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to f naught sin omega t, then the value of force here we get, that is f naught is equal to a root k square plus c omega square, and by putting or dividing the value of k, then k will be common, and in root 1 plus c omega by k whole square, we know that c omega by k is equal to 2 zeta omega by omega n. Then the value of f naught is equal to ak in root 1 plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. We know that the amplitude is equal to f naught by k upon in root 1 minus omega by omega n square, that is whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. Then we get the amplitude transmissibility by kx by a. Then the value of x, that is if the above equation, by putting the value of f naught, we get x is equal to ak in root 1 plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square by k upon 1 minus omega by omega n whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. The a will come on the downside of x, that is x by a is equal to in root 1 plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square plus in root 1 minus omega by omega n square, that is whole square, plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square, and the phase angle phi will be the tan inverse 2 zeta omega by omega n upon 1 minus omega by omega n whole square. Thank you.